Burning gas on the block. We back at it. Episode 2, and we got to take the show on the road already. Like, it takes time making all these clips, and I have things to do. I'm telling you about passive income plays, so who would I be to be sitting in front of a computer and trying to tell you about passive income plays? It just doesn't work like that. So I got things to do, so y'all gonna come with me today. While we're talking about Masari.io, it is a tool that I used this morning, probably gonna use when I get back home. But it's a tool that I use to keep track of my portfolio, do some spying on other huge hedge fund groups. But I'm gonna pretty much show you how to do all that in this episode while I'm on the road, getting paid passively to be on the go. So like, the first thing you need to understand is you're gonna have a lot of assets. They're gonna be on different exchanges. You're not gonna wanna log into every exchange or go to every piece of paper or, we give you tools that bring everything to you to make this experience pretty much easy for you to dive into. So keep in mind, what we're doing with burning gas on the block is just giving you pretty much free game. But what we're doing in DeFi economy is literally giving you a foundation to scale up and continue to be successful and understand what's happening conceptually as a whole in the ecosystem. So make sure you tap into DeFi economy. Link is below. Moving right along, Masari.io. One of the things that I do is I put it's a favorite that you can save. It's pretty much adding it to your watch list. So in Masari.io, when it first came out, it's this feature that they have in it. It's called an asset screener. And in the asset screener is different libraries where you can set to pretty much track different assets that you have to keep an overall, track overall performance of your portfolio. In this asset screener, you can click watch list and you can favorite your different assets to make sure just basically to keep an eye on them, track them, make sure they're doing as expected or not, to give you an indication of where they're trending, just in case you want to get out of something. So very important. What you can do is you can set these assets to basically give you the data against Bitcoin, which is always good because, most cryptocurrency in the market trends as where Bitcoin trends. So if you can kind of see if your particular asset is doing better than Bitcoin, it's usually a good sign that you're invested in a good asset. So what you can do is you can set that asset, or you can set your entire screener to compare against or to Bitcoin. And when you go to organize it by, market volume or market cap, you can see, which particular project is doing better over the course of, you can do annually, you can do monthly, I believe you can do quarterly as well. So you can set all of these to pretty much, let you know if you're in on a good project. And if at any point it doesn't come off as you're in a good project or a stable project, you get an indication early on that you need to get out. Early on, when a lot of projects and ICOs were launching, a lot of information wasn't being displayed on these projects, and everybody was hearing about this ICO, that ICO, and then just wanting to get in on the project, but not knowing where to go to get the tools to get the information. Masari.io launched, I believe it was like in 2011 or 2012, and they launched in the middle of the ICO boom. So it was kind of like people were still, looking for something to be able to do the research on ICOs. But fast forward, here we are now, and it's still a great tool. Actually, it's better than a great tool. It's an awesome tool to leverage moving forward. The second thing I use it for is in Masari.io, they have libraries listed, and in these libraries, they have real-time footage of huge hedge fund investors and who and what they're purchasing in real time, what they've invested in. And that's huge for someone just starting out, because it can be a little cumbersome trying to figure out which asset to invest in. Where do I gotta go look? I gotta understand blockchain, I gotta understand transactions. Like, somebody just tell me what I need to buy. And it's like, if you trust in professionals and people that are managing hundreds of billions of dollars, in some case, close to trillions, if you trust that as, an indication of someone that you can get reliable research or data from, then yeah, you can hop right into Masari.io. You can look at what Binance, the hedge fund, what Binance, the hedge fund, is buying, like in real time, what they brought today or the last time. And you can look at the small caps and see, like, if Binance buys a small cap, and by small cap, you got to think about it, like most of the stuff that they're buying is billions. So if you see, them buying something, and it's half a billion or less, it kind of gives you an idea that that's a small cap, and it should draw a red flag as to why would Binance hedge fund buy something a small cap like this. That's an indication that something's about to happen with this small cap, and maybe you want to do some research. You might want to get into it. And again, this is the most important thing. This is not financial advice. This is educational information. I'm telling you about what I do. If you happen to, jump into this and experience works for you, that's great. But this is just for educational purposes. This is not financial information. So keep that in mind. Moving right along. If you see they're invested in this small cap, it may draw some red, it may ring a bell for you to say, hey, you know what? Let me tap in. Let me get some information. Let me see what's good. That's important to keep in mind. So from a standpoint, just to back up, you'll see Alameda Research Group in there as another huge hedge fund. You'll see Coinbase's hedge fund in there. These are the actual companies, the actual cryptocurrencies. These are those hedge funds. So keep in mind, if they're investing in these small caps, it's definitely for a reason. They're not just going to do it for nothing. Like, they're good. So let's just backtrack. Let's keep in mind Masari.io. Use it as a tool for research. If you're not familiar with the market, the technologies, you can jump on there. You can see what these huge hedge funds are invested in. You can just pretty much copy them, or you can just base your research off that and just do some research off the tokens that they're invested in. But for the most part, that's an easy way to get started and an easy tool that you should, incorporate with your daily usage, along with looking at coinmarketcap.com and CoinGecko. You can also check out DeFi Pulse. It does give you good information, but Masari.io is probably my fan favorite right now. So I appreciate you joining. We're gonna make some moves today. I'm gonna give me a smoothie. I'm gonna dodge these fire trucks, and we'll catch you in the next video.